Girl, I'm speechless. I know this isn't the usual way that I start off my show. I started off a lot happier, a lot peppier. I give you my little clapboard and I say, hey, welcome to the Brooke Ashley's channel. But I can't do that. Not with this episode, not with some recent revelations, not with the way that the wool was pulled over my eyes. I can't do that. It would feel kind of fake. It would feel kind of disingenuous. So I'm going to start this off with just asking you guys to please get comfortable, pull up a chair, lay down, sit up, get a snack, get you a good drink. I have my little drink right here, my favorite champagne, some Veuve Clicquot. Cheers. So good. Because we're about to really get into some things. I just want to let you know, I'm not debating anybody. I'm not going back and forth with anybody down in those comments. I'm not changing my stance on what I'm about to say. Monique, it's going to be me and you tonight. It's going to be me and you tonight. For the few girls and boys who are still hanging on and still want to stand Monique Samuels, this might not be the recap for you, because I'm about to really go in, because I was absolutely disgusted with what I saw tonight. Monique, you are 100% to blame. You started the entire thing, the entire fight. Monique, you should feel embarrassed and ashamed. My dear, you made a complete fool of yourself in your attempt to hide, deflect, squash the paternity and cheating rumors. You created this beef with Candiace, and it's pathetic. This girl was a friend. This girl was somebody who did have your back. This girl was somebody who, when it was revealed that there was a dinner to get you off the show and to plant these stories about the baby's paternity, Candiace actually defended you and said that no, that's not true. Nobody's going to buy it because all those kids look like Chris. I suspect that based on all of the beef that some of the ladies had with Candiace for last season, you thought that she would be an easy target this season. And the plan backfired terribly. Now here you are. Here you are, girl. You've proven yourself to be disingenuous, a liar. The venom that I saw in your eyes while you were hitting that girl and trying to yank her hair out, I was like, wow. And you know what kills me? You know what really kills me about people who just love to fight? They love to say, well, somebody's talking crazy to me. Somebody's talking crazy to me. That's what an argument is. Me and you, we can argue all day, but you can trust and believe I'm not going to put my hands on you. Sometimes you lose an argument. Candiace happened to get the best of you in that argument. She won. She outwitted you. She outclassed you. She outsmarted you in that argument at the winery. And you were upset and embarrassed, so you went and took out all of your rage on her. The rage that you displayed towards Candiace in this episode showed that there is something going on. Not only was it unacceptable, that was rage on a different level. That was rage that suggested to me that there are marital problems between you and Chris. You're feeling some type of way. You're upset that these rumors are swirling around because there might be some truth to them. And you want to take it out on the easiest target. Because you wouldn't dare do this to Gizelle. You wouldn't dare do this to Charisse. And why aren't you doing this to your friend Gigi? She's not even on the show. Monique, this needs to be your last season. I don't care to see you on my screen anymore. Thank you for your services. But I think that your time here is done. I think that if you do come back, you need to come back maybe season 8, totally revamped, totally just a different person. And then you know, lying to everybody after Candiace got sent home in the truck by the producers. And you're lying to Ashley about how the fight transpired. And it's a sad day when I have to agree with Gizelle and Robin, because they were like, that didn't happen. That's not how this whole thing went. That's not true. Everybody at that winery was in shock. When the producers had to lock Monique away in that little room because she was just so crazy, I was like, wow. I felt for Candiace in that whole instance because I know she was embarrassed. I know she felt humiliated to get beat up on national TV by someone that you thought was a friend, by somebody that hasn't been clear to you about what this whole thing was about. Monique, this looks doubly bad because on your live last month, you said that this fight had nothing to do with the rumors going on. So now you just look crazy. Now you just look mentally unstable. You look unhinged because we're all like, well, what the F was that about? Like I said, I don't really care what Candiace said to you. All you had to do was walk away. That was unwarranted. And like Candiace told her husband in the car, she said, we can argue all day, but I will never put my hands on you. And that's how it is. We can argue all day, but it doesn't need to get physical, period. And I don't really care how anybody feels about it. I'm not debating about that either. So if you think we're going to argue about this in the comments, or you're going to, you know, tell me something, you can just save it right now, because there was no reason for you to put hands on somebody. Unless they're threatening your life. This was not a life-threatening situation. There was no reason for it. Monique is wrong, period. Now I'm getting aggravated all over again. Monique was wrong. I cannot support that. I cannot defend it. The only person now that I like on this show is Karen Huger. That's it. That's the only person I see it for. The only person that I'm going to stand for on this show. And Karen, Lord Jesus, please don't F it up. I'll be pissed because, honey, if I end up not liking anybody on this show, then I'm just going to have to give up watching this show. I'm this close on giving this up, man, because it's been so much aggravation and irritation, and this episode really just set me off. I was shocked. And Monique is so funny. You didn't even have all this venom for Ashley when she was going around calling you an alcoholic a few seasons ago. Remember when you had crashed that Bentley? It's just so funny to me. And you were getting on this, you know, little PR train, trying to spin everything before this season even came out to make yourself look like the victim, to make yourself look like the good guy. And the whole time, honey, the whole time, it was you all along. I'm screaming. Monique, you are good. You are good. I had to give it to you. I had to give you the Oscar because you fooled me. And I always pride myself on knowing, you know, who the cool people are on the show. But baby, you pulled the wool over my eyes. You have me looking a fool. And I don't like being made a fool of, honey. I do not tolerate being made a fool of. So sis, now I gotta put you in my don't like file. Now I actually have to look at Candiace in a new lens. I'm looking at, you guys are gonna die. Write this down. I want you guys to write this down in history. Buy a lotto ticket. I'm gonna even have to look at Gizelle and Robin with a new lens now after watching this. Cause I'm like, what? What? Is this, what? Girl. Dark days. Monique, you running out of that little room to fight Candiace again and then saying, I'm gonna kill her. You look unhinged, baby. You look unhinged. Candiace got you that upset? Like, that's what I want to know. And she got you that upset? I don't care if the group X's you out. I don't. I was so ready to be on your side before this season started. I was so ready to be on your side, Monique. I loved you. I loved you. Girl, this feels like a breakup. Like, what the heck? Like, girl, I'm sitting up here distraught over this. Like, I really rode hard for Monique, and now I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go. And the fact that you weren't even remorseful about it is what gets me. And you were on Twitter lying and saying that, oh yeah, did you guys see, how the fight started? Like, she threw the glass at me. No, we have two eyes, baby. We can see. You're lying. I now believe the rumors that you are a social climber. And I see why Charisse don't want to fool with you anymore. I see it. It's all making sense. It's all making sense now. You were wrong. And at the reunion, you need to not only apologize, you need to set everything straight about these rumors and address them head on. And address the holes in your story too. Because this season, you look crazier than a soup sandwich. Y'all, that scene was crazy. The beginning of this episode was really crazy. I mean, we had, Ashley had missed the whole thing because she was in the bathroom. And when she came out, you see Monique sitting there where, she has a cut. And then Candiace is already gone. All the ladies are just shell-shocked. I agree with Gizelle and Robin that Monique started the whole thing and was dead wrong, period. Wendy had me cracking up because she was like, Gizelle, I didn't sign up for this. Like, what you have me into? Like, what is, like, girl, like, what'd you invite me to? A melee? Like, what is this? And it was really funny, the juxtaposition when they showed Candiace in the car going home, and I felt so bad for her. Like, she was just crying because she was humiliated. She was embarrassed. She could not believe that happened. And I felt bad for her. Like, I would be humiliated too. I would be really upset and shaken up too. I would have been distraught too. So I felt for Candiace, definitely. That's sad. Like, that's really sad for somebody to do that. Like, it's one thing, yes, it's bad enough someone fought you and like hit you, but it's worse when this was someone that you thought was a friend. Like, that's devastating for anybody. I don't care how you slice it, how you look at it. And when Monique got in the car and she was talking to her husband, she had no remorse at all. I was like, wow, like, you're just making yourself look even worse. Like, learn how to shut your mouth. And Candiace was right. She was like, Monique, I don't want to hear you talk like this anymore. Because you heard Monique, she kept saying, oh, don't bring her around me. I want to beat her. I want to beat her. I want to beat her. Like, oh my God, I'll kill her. Like, that was just so disgusting to me. That was just so, like, just deplorable. Like, just despicable behavior. I'm sorry, but I cannot condone fighting. I'm sorry. If you're in an argument and somebody bests you in the argument, you just got to take it. You just have to fight somebody because they bested you in the argument. That's unacceptable to me. Yes, Candiace can be very annoying. Yes, Candiace does have a very slick mouth, but that did not warrant that. And Candiace, like I said it in the car to her husband that, we can argue all day, but there is never a reason for physical violence. And I absolutely agree with her. The next scene, we see Wendy, and she is getting ready to go on air because we all know that she is a political commentator, and she, appears on MSNBC, Fox News, all the different, CNN, all the different outlets. And so she's really just shaken up about the whole fight that occurred last night. And she's just like, this is just like really terrible. Like, I can't believe that happened. I had to go on air, but this is still on my mind. And I was like, oh, like, that sucks. Like, you have two friends, you're entering a new group, and then you see two people that you're trying to get to know are fighting and bashing each other's skulls in. Like, that's kind of gonna suck and bring the mood down for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then the next scene, we see Robin and Gizelle, they're talking to each other via FaceTime, and they're just kind of like, that was crazy. Like, Monique started it, and they're right. She did start it. She started it. There's no other way around it. She started it. The next scene is Miss Karen, and she is rehashing all of the drama to Ray. And then she's just like, I'm torn because I'm both of their friends. I like both of them. This is crazy. I'm in the middle. But then she's like, look, I got my own issues. I got my own problems. I can't be dwelling about, you know, two grown adults. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having some issues with Ray. It's his birthday, and she's trying to create a really like sexy romantic birthday dinner for him. And it was so cute because she hired a chef. Because Karen was like, look, I don't cook. I don't get down in the kitchen like that. You know, I can do a little yin 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 around the house. And I was like, Karen, I feel you, because I can do the bare minimum in the kitchen too. Karen is making, well, she's learning how to make Chilean sea bass. Okay, side note, I absolutely love sea bass, and I love the sea bass at Tao. It is heavenly, okay? So when she was making that, I was like, my mouth was salivating, like, oh my God, I was like drooling, like, oh my God, that looks so good. So it was just cute, you know, she's cooking, and the chef is like, you know, Karen, you're doing a nice job, and so, you know, she makes it. I guess all is well for his birthday dinner. It was a success. So that was a really cute scene. It was really nice to just see a lighter moment, especially since all of that mess occurred. The next scene is Candiace and her husband, Chris. And she's going over the entire thing. Chris is like, you know, are you okay? Like, what exactly happened? So she's just explaining her confusion. Like, I don't understand, like, you know, how this happened. Like, you know, 1 minute we're, you know, we're talking about Ashley's stuff, and then the next minute it's like this girl's beating me upside the head and pulling my hair out. And she's like, I'm done with Monique. That was just some real ratchet behavior, and that's just unacceptable. And then they flip over to Monique, and you know, she is washing her little girl's hair, and she's talking to Chris, and Chris is like, yo, what happened? And Chris was like, you know, this looks really bad, like, on us. Like, this looks bad for our image. And Monique was like, the way she was so flippant and just so, like, just dismissive. Like, I don't care. Like, okay, I don't care. Like, I don't care about my image right now. Like, I did what I did, and it is what it is. I was just so disgusted. Like, wow, you don't even have any remorse for what you've done. Like, you look crazy. Like, and your daughter is hearing you talk like this. Like, I was shocked. And then for her to say that, you know, well, my mom taught me, like, you know, don't start a fight, but, you know, if someone comes at you, finish them. Yes. If somebody hits you first or is trying to physically harm you, obviously defend yourself. But in this situation, that was not the case. Candiace did not throw that drink at you first. You were flipping her hair, and then all of a sudden you started hitting her. We saw the footage, Monique. So what are you saying? Candiace threw that glass as a response so you would let go of her. That would be a normal reaction for anybody. If somebody was trying to hit me upside the head and bash my skull in, I'm grabbing anything I could to get them to get off of me, right? Wouldn't you do the same? I know I'm not crazy. So Chris, again, is just shaking his head like, this don't make no sense. Like, he was like, you know, this is a real shame that, you know, grown women can't just get along. Like, this is really sad that you know, this whole thing transpired, because like, he really likes Chris. He really had a relationship or friendship with Candiace's husband. So he's just kind of like, you know, this is a sin and a shame that you sitting up here acting a fool. You could tell that Chris wanted to say more to her, that he was just so disgusted, but he didn't want to say too much because the cameras were on. So he wanted to kind of seem like he was standing in solidarity with his wife, but in real life, he was just kind of like, girl, you a damn fool. Like, this is crazy. Child, just a mess. So then in the next scene, we see Gizelle and her daughters. They are flying into Atlanta, and they're getting situated in the hotel. They're flying out there because remember how Gizelle and Jamal bought the girls a restaurant? They are there for the ribbon cutting opening ceremony of the restaurant. It's called Arizona's, and it's in, I think they said Stonecrest, Georgia. For my Atlanta folks, drop it down. Let me know if I got that right. Let me know if you've even been to the restaurant. So yeah, I know that they had closed for COVID. I don't know. Some articles said that it was permanent closure. Some said it was just COVID. So just let me know down in the comments if you've been, if it's open again or whatever. So while the girls are getting situated, she calls her father to let him know that they're there and they can't wait to see him and, you know, just spend the day with him. You know, I said, okay, like, Gizelle has really nice daughters. For all you Gizelle fans who have found your way to my channel, I think that her daughters are lovely girls. They look like well-rounded, just, you know, pretty, really sweet girls. So don't ever say that I've never said anything nice about y'all's fave child, okay? So the next scene is Ashley and Michael. And, you know, she's playing with the baby. And, you know, he comes in. I'm guessing he was coming back from work. And, honey, this scene was everything. Y'all, Ashley gave us a master class in the art of revenge and the art of keeping quiet and enacting your plan at the right time. Ashley needs to teach a class because that was mastery level what we just saw. So, you know, Ashley is talking about their marriage and where things went wrong and what does Michael think caused like the breakdown in their marriage and why he's seeking sex from other people. So Michael's like, well, I feel like we focus too much more on the baby. There's not enough us time. There's a lack of intimacy and like, you know, like us playing around and opening our marriage before. Like, it's just a whole lot of mess is what is bringing their marriage down. So Ashley's like, okay, I get that. Baby, this next part was just iconic. I said, Ashley, teach the girls a class on revenge, because what we saw was a changing of the guards, a shifting of power. Ashley started out in that marriage desperate, had to do anything to get any little bit of money out of that man. Remember, he had made her extend the prenup in like, I think that was season 3, and she did it. Ashley lowered that boom and said, you know what? To prevent any other problems or any indiscretions, I would like for you to sign a post-nup. When she laid out those terms and conditions about how she would be receiving 50% of those assets. Now, a few of you girls in the comments told me a few weeks ago, Michael is worth 60 to 70 million, that she's actually the richest housewife out of all of them on that franchise, and Monique is second. Baby, when I said 50% of 60 or 70 million, Ashley said, in all this money, I am going to be set. That was a master class. She came into that marriage with him holding all the purse strings, her having to do any and everything. And here she is with the upper hand. I said, oh, that's delicious. I said, that is delicious. There is nothing like having the upper hand on somebody who once had the upper hand on you. There's nothing like it. Y'all, I'm going to say this and you better hear me clearly. Ashley has something over that man for him to agree to a post-nup. If you don't believe that Ashley has something over that man, that he is scared to death that will get out, rewatch this episode again. I saw a man who was scared to death. The way he was sweating bullets and his face was beet red. She has something over this man, something that will destroy him, destroy his career, destroy his reputation, because the way he said, sure, we can do that. I said, Ashley, baby, you better play your cards right. And she played all of her cards right. I said, that's how you do it. You know what's funny with Ashley, and I want to just spend some time and marinate on their whole situation. I don't understand why Ashley did not have an infidelity clause in their prenup in the first place. The way that he treated her, y'all, in those beginning seasons. Remember, I think it was what, season 3 or season 2 when he kicked her out of their apartment and she was darn near penniless. And I was like, that right there shows me that Michael was giving that girl hell the minute that they got married. And now with her being on this show and him being scared about protecting his reputation and his little dirty secrets, now he's willing to oblige about whatever little whim that she wants to. So she has him by the balls now. I said, child, girl, a mess, a mess. The next scene, we see Gizelle and the girls, and they're in Atlanta, and they're prepping for the ribbon cutting. I think I skipped ahead, y'all. I forgot to mention how prior in the episode, they went to meet up with Giselle's father, the girl's grandfather, and they're eating breakfast and some sweets at a bakery. And so while the girls are in the bathroom, Gizelle slips it to her father that her and Jamal are back together, and he's just not pleased. And we find out that not only was Giselle's father never a fan of Jamal because of his indiscretions, he didn't show up to their wedding. So I was like, ooh, a mess. So, in this scene with Gizelle, we see the girls going to the restaurant before the ribbon cutting, and they're like, getting in touch with the kitchen, and like one of the line chefs was like showing them like, I guess, how they could cook the food and like the pantry and like where the food is stored. And it was like a really cute scene. And in the confessional, Giselle's going on about how, she's so happy for them to be passing on generational wealth, and how it's important for the girls to, learn the importance of hard work and just to have something to pass on to their kids. So this is where it got shady. One of the producers in her confessional asked, well, how many other kids does Jamal have? And Gizelle was like, you could tell Gizelle was like pissed, because she was like, well, I'm not going to speak on the other kids because I'm not going to do that. And I don't, that's just not, I'm not going to do that because, I'm only talking about these three right here. So it's a mess. And I was kind of wondering, like, Gizelle, are you getting defensive because you don't know the amount of children he has, or you just are like annoyed? But I think it was a mix of both. I think that she doesn't know how many kids that man has either, which is a mess in itself. So the next scene, we see Karen and Ray, and they are inviting the life coach over, and her name is Angela. She has a radio show called Pillow Talk, and I'm guessing, it was like a love, relationship, dating, advice radio show that she has. And so, she comes on over to their house to help them work out their issues and to have them, just be on a better path and have a better marriage. So she starts off with the preliminary questions like, Ray, what would you like more of? And he says, I would like Karen to cook more. I would like for there to be more intimacy. And it was so funny because he was like, I remember back in the day, we used to get it cracking, like, the wind could blow and I'm like ready to go. So he's like, now it's kind of like, I need more for the wind to blow. So I was just cracking up. Karen and the life coach were even cracking up too. So then he just says that, like, I just wish that she would spend more time with me, because now since she has her own business going on, because you guys know she has her own perfume called La Dame Fragrances. And so he's like, that's like her main priority right now. And especially since the kids aren't in the house, like, it's just us and we're just not on the same page. So Karen is kind of like, I feel like you don't date me anymore. Like, I just feel like you're just not interested, and like I'm very much in love with you. And he's just shaking his head, and the life coach is like, I understand. Like, that's a lot of people say that. A lot of people in long marriages say like these kind of things, so you guys aren't abnormal. So then the life coach asks both of them, she says, Karen, are you still in love with Ray? So Karen is like, yes, I'm still in love with Ray. That should not be a doubt in your mind. Like, Ray, I'm in love with you. I'm crazy about you, whatever. So then the life coach asks Ray, are you still in love with Karen? And he says, I love Karen, but I think I'm in love with her. I just don't know if I'm in love with her. I feel like she's changed. And the life coach is like, wow, like, that's a very deep revelation. And you could see Karen's face was like her mouth dropped. She was not expecting that answer at all. I was in shock. I felt so bad for Karen in this moment. So then the life coach leaves, and Karen and Ray talk, and Karen is like, Ray, like, I can't believe that you feel that way. Like, I'm in love with you. You know, you can't expect somebody to stay the same. First of all, y'all, you shouldn't want to stay the same, especially not for 20 years. Every day you should be striving to be better than you were before yesterday. Like, you know, growth and change, that's a natural part of life. That is inevitable, or else it should be. Like, who wants to be the same person? You know what I'm saying? That would be like wearing like clothes from and styles from like 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Like, things evolve, people change. And you know, Karen was really upset. So, you know, we see her storming up the stairs, and then Ray goes into the next room, and he's just kind of like, you know, like, he doesn't really know what to say because she's just pissed. So then we hear Karen, I guess, going into her master bedroom, and she's telling the producers, can you take this mic off of me? I just need to breathe right now. I need to breathe right now. And we hear her sobbing. And I just felt so bad for her because she was just like so devastated. And I was like, wow, like this episode was just a mess. Just when we thought that we were done with all the drama, right? So the last scene is with Gizelle and her daughters and Jamal. And it is officially the day of the ribbon cutting ceremony, and everybody's excited. The girls are all there dressed up. They look so cute. And so they're all there. It's a big crowd of people waiting to get in for the restaurant. We see the girls like working it. Like, one was working the register. The other girl was like help taking orders with the waitresses. And then you see like one of the other daughters was like helping seat people. Like, it was just so cute to see them. And so like while they're like, you know, working and moving around, Gizelle's father comes and he's like watching everything go about. And Jamal and Gizelle and the dad are sitting together at a table, and Gizelle's dad was not having it whatsoever. He was just sitting there like, And so Gizelle's like, yeah, dad, like, how, like, isn't it so cool? Like, and he's like, yep, And she's like, yeah, dad. So like, you know, you see me and Jamal, like, you know, we're working it out. Like, everything is, you know, coming together. Like, we're back together. And you could tell like Gizelle and Jamal knew that the dad was not feeling it at all. So, you know, the girls come on over and they were all eating dessert. Now, I have to say, that dessert looked phenomenal. That was like like an apple pie a la mode, or like it was like a chocolate brownie, like whatever those desserts were, they looked so good. So they're eating the desserts, and so Jamal and Gizelle are like, okay, girls, like, you know, fun time is over. Like, get back to work, you know, make that money, whatever. So they go back. And Gizelle is still trying to, like, you know, keep conversation and, you know, just try to get her dad to crack a smile, because his face, he was mean mugging. So, baby, Gizelle's dad is like, okay, well, you know, I think I'm going to, like, head out. I'm going to use the restroom or whatever. The next scene, we see Gizelle's dad talking to the production team off camera. And he's like, somebody take this mic off me. I want to leave. I want to get out of here. I don't know what she's doing with him. You know, this man and all his shenanigans. He got 6, 7 baby mamas. Like, what do you want with that? Like, he was not feeling it at all. Her father said, no, ma'am, Pam. He said he will not have his daughter be hurt and be with this cheating louse anymore. I was cracking up. I said, I wonder what Gizelle is going to say when she hears this played back, because her father was reading down. He says, shout out to everybody. I had fun.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.
But I will not sit here and watch this foolery commence. Ooh. I said Gizelle's father hit the nail on the head, guys. I was just cracking up. I said, wow, it has been drama from beginning to end. That is the end of this recap. Drop it down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. You know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all later. Bye, guys.